Stoic philosophy is not only a historical school of thought, but also an art of living that can leave deep traces in our modern relationships. So, what could be the Stoic solution to the problems we constantly encounter in our relationships? How do we determine the difference between what we can and cannot control, and how can we use this knowledge in our relationships? If you are also looking for ways to reduce emotional reactivity in relationships and how to be together as healthier and more independent individuals, this video is for you. Remember, every step you take on this journey will help you build your relationship on stronger foundations. Now, let's take a closer look at this inspiring Stoic perspective. If you liked our video, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss any information. As a Stoic, one of the biggest obstacles we face in our relationships is our avoidance of understanding ourselves and our inner world. Confronting our own truths is the first step to creating a solid foundation in relationships. But how will this confrontation happen? First, we need to be honest with ourselves. Evaluating our own weaknesses and strengths from an objective perspective should be our greatest guide. When we start to improve ourselves, we start to see positive changes in our relationships. Stoic philosophy encourages us to improve our relationship with ourselves, and therefore to be more independent and self-confident in our relationships with other people. Independence in relationships, although often misunderstood, is actually the cornerstone of healthy relationships. Independence reduces our need for each other and allows us to establish a more natural bond. In order to achieve emotional independence, we must learn to manage our emotions. Stoics emphasize being aware of emotions and managing them. The first reaction you feel to a situation is usually automatic and uncontrolled. However, when you become aware of this reaction, you have the power to choose how you will respond to it. This is exactly what Stoicism teaches us: focus on what we can control. When we create a solid foundation in our own inner world, we can observe the same solidity and balanced structure in our relationships with people. Individuals who are self-sufficient, know themselves and can manage their emotions experience less conflict in relationships and are more harmonious. This journey is not easy, however, from a Stoic perspective, you can take each step consciously and freely. I would like to talk about a concept that is often overlooked in relationships but greatly affects the happiness in our lives: secret agreements. So, what are these secret agreements? They are agreements that are mostly not mentioned in a relationship, but both parties have certain expectations. These expectations are often not openly expressed, but they shape the behaviors of both parties. From a Stoic perspective, identifying such secret agreements and revealing them through healthy communication can put our relationships on a more solid foundation. However, this should not scare us, because truly solid relationships can withstand difficulties and grow stronger in the face of these difficulties. The first step to revealing a secret agreement is to clearly express mutual expectations. For example, if one partner constantly expects approval from the other, it may actually indicate a deep-seated insecurity or need to be valued. Such emotional needs, when not openly discussed, can cause constant unrest in the relationship. Stoics recommend reducing emotional attachments and dependencies. This does not mean completely cutting off dependencies in a relationship, but managing them in a healthy way. This work on hidden contracts can help both parties feel more free and independent. This freedom leads to more respect and love in the relationship because instead of expecting things from each other, we start to accept each other as we are. Finally, when we reveal hidden contracts, we have the opportunity to better understand each other's true needs. This allows us to develop our relationship in a deeper and healthier way. A relationship where everyone is openly expressed, built on mutual respect and understanding, will be the greatest source of peace and satisfaction for both parties, as Stoic philosophy suggests. Independence is a central theme in Stoic thought. Being self-sufficient and having emotional autonomy allows us to establish a healthy balance in relationships. So how can we develop this independence in relationships, and how can Stoic principles guide us in this process? Independence in a relationship means not only being able to make our own decisions, but also not being constantly dependent on the other person to meet our emotional needs. This does not mean the absence of mutual commitment. On the contrary, it means that both parties have a solid foundation in their own inner world. This solid foundation makes the relationship stronger. The Stoics emphasize that autonomy is an investment in oneself. Focusing on your own goals, passions, and development is vital to increasing your independence in your relationship. As you progress on your own individual journey, the quality of your bond with your partner also improves because you now have more to offer each other. As both parties grow in line with their individual goals, the relationship naturally becomes healthier and more fulfilling. Independence is essential to healthy relationships because each person must understand and manage their own emotional needs. Being able to manage your own emotional needs will make you more resilient to the challenges you may face in your relationship. For example, accepting that your partner is not responsible for making you happy will lead to less frustration and more personal responsibility in your relationship. Finally, as a Stoic, supporting the independence of both parties grounds the relationship on more solid ground. Mutual respect and support strengthens the bonds in the relationship while also encouraging individual freedom. This freedom creates greater happiness and fulfillment in the natural flow of the relationship. A truly healthy relationship develops as a partnership in which both parties are self-actualized and come together to support each other. Emotional baggage is a factor that is often overlooked in our relationships, but directly affects their health. Stoic philosophy offers tools to understand and manage this baggage. What is emotional baggage? It is a collection of unresolved emotional issues that we have accumulated from past relationships, from childhood, or over the years. This baggage is carried over into our new relationships without us realizing it and often puts a strain on them. Stoics recommend that we focus on the present moment to reduce the impact of the past on us. Past events can guide our decisions today, but they remind us that we should not be completely shaped by them. Managing our own emotional baggage means learning from these past experiences and making them useful for today. Being aware of emotional baggage in relationships and confronting this baggage requires a Stoic attitude. This process requires being honest with ourselves and accepting sometimes painful truths. Recognizing and confronting our own inner wounds can make our relationships healthier and more conscious. The practice of forgiveness also plays a critical role in this process. Stoicism emphasizes that forgiveness is important not only for the other party, but also for our own inner peace. Forgiving ourselves and others allows us to let go of the burdens of the past and build healthier relationships. Being at peace with our own emotional baggage allows us to establish a stronger, more real bond with the other person. Establishing deep bonds in a relationship is possible not only through superficial similarities, but also through mutual understanding and sincere communication. Stoic philosophy encourages both parties to reveal their true selves and deeply understand each other. This process involves expressing our true feelings in our daily interactions and listening to the other person without judgment. Mutually contributing to each other's personal development strengthens our relationship. Shared values and goals help us identify a common direction in our relationship. This common direction allows the bonds in the relationship to both strengthen and last. A true connection is about mutually supporting and growing each other. This approach suggested by Stoic philosophy is the key to achieving deep happiness and satisfaction in relationships. This approach allows both parties to grow individually and together, making the relationship more meaningful and fulfilling. By approaching our relationships from a Stoic perspective, we can become aware of the developments we experience both individually and together. The techniques we cover in this video can put your relationship on a more solid and happy foundation. If you are looking for deeper meaning and satisfaction in your relationships, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell for more content. Let's discover ways to build more conscious and healthy relationships together.